Gullileo Galilei, written and illustrated by Andrew Toffoli. Galileo Galilei, an observant bird, was born during the Renaissance in Pisa, Italy in 1564. As a young bird, Galileo loved math, performing experiments, and stargazing. Galileo would ask his teachers many questions about how and why objects moved. One day, while in a cathedral, Galileo observed a lamp swinging back and forth, and back and forth. He noticed that it was always took the same amount of time to swing from side to side. Galileo shouted, "Wow, this will be a great way to measure time." And with that, the pendulum clock was born. The pendulum would swing, and the energy from the momentum would move the gears, and the clock would tell time for years and years. When solving math problems, Galileo would count with his feathers, until one day he grew tired of counting them and invented the geometric compass. He explained, "This compass makes learning fun because it can easily solve mathematical problems." Galileo used a telescope to gaze at the stars, but was frustrated because he could not see beyond Mars. Galileo never settled for second best, so he made a telescope that was better than the rest. With his telescope, he could see that the moon had mountains and craters, just like Earth. Soon, his telescope was in high demand, and astronomy was studied across the land. Galileo wrote all of his discoveries in a book titled The Starry Messenger. In his book, he wrote about the concept of the solar system. This was the theory that Earth and planets revolved around the sun. Some people did not like this idea one bit, but Galileo did not quit. Along with astronomy, he was also interested in physics. This is the study of how things move and what makes them move. In Galileo's time, scientists liked to guess, but he thought doing experiments was the best. He wanted to perform an experiment with gravity. Gravity is the force that holds us to the ground, and many years before, a philosopher named Aristotle proclaimed, "The heavier an object is, the faster it will fall." Galileo disagreed. "That is not the way it is, and I will prove it." And according to legend, that is just what he did. He climbed to the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa with a big, juicy meatball in one wing and a tiny one in the other. He leaned over the edge of the tower with care and dropped the two meatballs into the air. Down they went at the same rate of speed. Both meatballs hit the ground at the same time, and Galileo was right indeed. This controlled experiment changed history. Galileo correctly reasoned that when an object falls more slowly, it is due to air resistance. Years later, another scientist, Sir Isaac Newton, would be inspired by Galileo and continue to make discoveries about gravity. Galileo was an astronomer, mathematician, and physicist. He improved the telescope so we could see into space. He did experiments so he could argue his case. It was not always easy for him to be heard, but nothing was going to stop this diligent bird.